Welcome to my channel. I am Chef Christy, and today I am going to make an apple and cranberry stuffed pork tenderloin. So delicious, and it is perfect for those special family dinners that we have throughout the holidays and the Christmas season. So stay with me so I can show you just how to make it. And on this channel, I share delicious recipes every single Monday and Thursday. So please subscribe and help me to grow this channel. And if you hit the notification bell, then you will know as soon as I upload a new video. And give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like this video. So here is what you will need. You will need a pork loin, and this one is roughly a 2.5 pound pork loin. You will need some kitchen twine, salt and pepper, an apple, onion, celery, dried cranberries, butter, and then my seasoning is dried thyme, rosemary, and sage, some chicken broth, and then today I'm just using a box of stuffing mix. Now you can find the cubed bread in a bag, or you can toast up your own bread and cube it up. I've done that before, but today I'm just making it simple and just using the box. So the first thing that I want to do is cut up my celery and onion and my apple. And now for my apple. Okay, so I'm cutting my apple into strips, and then I'm going to go back and peel it. I just think it's easier this way. And I'm going to kind of rough chop through it a little bit to give it a little bit smaller pieces. Okay, so I've got my apple and my celery and my cranberries. Now the only thing I have left to do is my onion. I'm adding a half a stick of butter to a cast iron skillet. I'm going to let that melt, and then I'm going to add my celery, onions, cranberries, and apples. So I have added everything to the melted butter, and now I'm just going to let this cook until the onions begin to get translucent and tender and the apples start to soften. So this will take just a few minutes. I am going to go ahead and add my seasoning. Now that stuffing mix does come with some seasoning, but I'm just going to add just a little extra just to give it a little bit more flavor. So my onions are beginning to get translucent. Everything is softening up. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump this stuffing mix and toss everything together. I'm going to turn my fire off. Mix everything together. And now I'm just going to cover this and let this sit while I get my pork ready. All right, so I'm going to be taking this pork and I am going to butterfly it. Now don't be scared. I'm going to show you just how to do it. It is not hard. Okay, so you want to use a really, really sharp knife, and so I am honing my boning knife. All right, to butterfly meat, all that means is that you are going to open it up. Like for instance, on a chicken breast, you would slice it in the thick of the chicken breast, and then you would open it up like a book. With the pork loin, I'm going to make slices, and we're going to roll it as we're slicing so that it will roll out and be a nice flat rectangle pork loin, and it's kind of opened up like a book. It's kind of rolled out like a book, but I'm going to show you just how to do it. So if you notice, I have placed plastic wrap over my wooden board, and then I'm also using a red cutting board, and the red signifies raw meat. So anytime I use raw meat, if I'm cutting raw meat, I cut it on this red board. So what I'm going to do first if you notice, there's a natural line right here, and I'm going to make a cut. Right, I'm going to follow this long cuts. Now, you see how I've opened this up some? Now I'm just going to make another cut, open it up a little bit more, and let me turn it around here so you can see what I've done. So basically I have cut right along here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, curve around, and then go back, if that makes any sense, but I'll show you. All right. So I'm going to go back. Let's see, let me turn it around. I'm trying to get it so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go right in the middle of this pork. And I'm going to just start to open it up as I'm cutting long slices with the knife. All right, you see how it's kind of unrolling? There we go. Now look, that is what I'm talking about. Okay, so now it is flat. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to put some plastic wrap over this, and then I'm going to take a meat mallet and just pound it out so it's a little bit thinner. Putting some plastic wrap over my pork. And we'll take this meat mallet and just begin to pound. Okay, so I'm pounding this out until the thickness is pretty much the same throughout the whole pork. And you can feel it when there's thicker parts. So if you're frustrated, you just pound and get that frustration out. Yeah. Build up your muscle. All right, so once you have finished pounding out the pork, then I'm going to unwrap it and I'm going to sprinkle with some salt and cracked black pepper. And I'm going to do both sides. And now I'm going to take this apple and cranberry stuffing. This is a heavy skillet, and I'm going to begin putting it onto this pork. All right, so I have got it all on here, and now I'm just going to press it out, leaving myself about an inch border all the way around. Okay, just like that. So now I'm going to show you how to roll this bad boy up. Okay, just simply going to roll gently. And some of this will fall out, and that's okay. Just take two hands and roll it, kind of pressing that stuffing in there. All right, just like so. And if you have any that falls out of the ends, just stuff it back in there. And now I want to show you how to take the kitchen twine and secure this pork loin up, how to tie it up, make sure it's nice and secure. You want a really, really, really long piece of kitchen twine. Okay, so you will take the one end and slide it under the one end, and you want to tie it as tight as you can get it So now what I'm going to do is hold this here and I'm going to go back, bring this up, and then pull all of this twine through. And you want to make sure that it's nice and tight. And then I'm just going to keep repeating this step under, pulling through. And this just keeps your pork loin all together, holding that stuffing in there. Your other option is to make little strips and then just cut them and lay them underneath and just bring them up and tie it. But this, for me, is a little easier. I'm at the end, and I have had a lot come out, but I'm just gonna shove it up back in there in a minute. I'm gonna make this, try to make this tight. Okay. So there you go. Okay, so now I want to give you some cooking instructions. I have placed this pork tenderloin onto a sheet tray that I have sprayed with non-stick spray. I'm going to actually drizzle a little bit of olive oil all over the top. Okay, so now I'm going to bake this in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to turn the temperature down to 325 and bake it for another hour, maybe an hour and a half, just until the internal temperature reads 160 degrees. So it will vary. I will check it after an hour and see where we are at. But I wanted to give you a little tip just to save yourself some time, because I know we don't always have a lot of time. If you do everything that I have done so far and you get to this point and you do this the night before, then you can just place it in this plastic wrap and put it in your refrigerator. Then the next day, all you have to do is bake it. And that will save you some time. Okay, so my pork has been cooking for 1 hour. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to check the temperature. Okay, so I have a digital internal thermometer and I'm going to take this pork's temperature. We're going to see what the internal temperature of this pork is, and I'm going to place it inside, let's see, in the thickest part. I'm going to put the probe, and you want it to read 160. So as you can see, it is at 165, 166. So this pork is done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, now that I know it's done, I'm going to let this pork rest for about 30 minutes. That way all the juices and everything will go back up into the meat, and it's also easier to slice once it's rested. So the pork has been resting for 30 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove these strings, just snipping and pulling them off. I'm just going to remove these strings. Okay, so I've removed the strings, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some slices. Oh, look at that. Yum. Okay, so after I finish slicing, I'm going to add this to a nice, pretty platter. Just kind of shingling them. It's so pretty and it's so special. It's just a special dish for the holidays. And here we go, the apple and cranberry stuffed pork tenderloin. So delicious. It is absolutely beautiful. And what a dish to serve at those special family night dinners that we have throughout the holidays. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with more recipes.